Aloha. I'd like you all to close your eyes for a minute as we enter into this time for the message. When we had our gospel choir here, we would sometimes open up with this song to allow us to get us settled in. And so as I sing this song, I want you, by the second time I sing it, you're going to know the words, you're going to know how it goes. So when you feel ready to join me within this song, then join me. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. Now switch it to a personal connection to say, I let the love wash over me. I let it be. And one more time, sing it a little bit louder. I let the love wash over me. I let it be. Thank you. We have to let it be. We have to allow this love. We allow that love. I allow that love to be able to flow through me, to be able to inhabit every part of me, so that as I live, I breathe, I speak, I share, I sing, I smile, I speak, whatever it is that I share is pure. And we cannot let that happen if my mind, my thoughts, those things that separate me from that connection wins. I cannot allow it to win. I have to constantly allow this greater source. Just like that idea of the little speck of dust, that if God is everywhere, if God emanates through and over everything throughout this entire universe, and whatever lays beyond this, then we are within this flow of immense, immense love. And Nana Veary, one of our great spiritual leaders for our Hawaiian community, who has, of course, passed, but one of her words that rings true to me is, the only problem separating us in life is our belief in separation from the source. Our belief in separation from the source, my belief in separation from the source, that is what keeps me from experiencing the fullness, the totality of God, of love, of aloha. I do that. So as we speak today, as I share what I share, I want you to recognize where it is within this life that you disallow yourself from feeling the fullness of God, the fullness of love. And I hope, this will be kind of, I'm going to ask you questions, and so I want you to throw words out as well. So it's all voluntary, But I want you to express yourself as much as you can, because that is your way of freeing yourself to be open to what is filling your hearts as we go through this talk. The first thing was to find balance, to recognize that as we sang those words, that we were allowing ourselves to be open to this flow of spirit that should inhabit us. Aloha Valeno. No matter what you think there is out there, there is only love. When everything disappears, when everything else settles down and we're able to breathe and allow ourselves to feel all of this energy around us, and I hope that you feel this energy around us, because there is so much of it. Aloha Valeno. Where am I going? There I am. I want to start off with these two quotes because it kind of sets that precedent here. So the first is by Lord Byron. In the early 1820s, he died in about 1824, and this quote says, "There are 4 questions of value in life, Don Octavio. What is sacred? Of what is the spirit made? What is worth living for? And what is worth dying for?" The answer to each of them is the same: only love. And then secondly, this is by Nana Veery's mom, or grandmother actually, who was upset with Nana Veery one day when Nana came into the house and Grandma was feeding a malihini, a visitor, who she did not know. So Grandma was feeding this person. Nana Veery came into the house at 6 years old, stood there watching, and was like, "Who is this person in my house?" So after he left, she questioned Grandma, "Grandma, why are you feeding somebody that we don't know?" So Grandma told her, "Sit down, listen to this. Remember these words as I share this with you. Aole au I hanai akune I ke kanaka. Aka hanai akune au I ka uhane a ke akua I loko ona." I was not feeding the man. I was entertaining the Spirit of God within the man. When I look at you, I see the form that you take in the flesh, but I see so much more than that. I see this incredible love of God. This is what formed us to be who we are, is this immense creator. However you want to think of who God is to you, this is who I am in the flesh. To be able to carry these words, to be able to carry that spirit in the time that I have here on earth, this is what God gave me to share with you, to be able to be true to you. So I love that quote because it puts aside any of the formality, any of the physical constructs, and it allows us to see only God, allows us to see only love, only Spirit. And if we are to continue in our lives for whatever time we have left, I hope that you can see that everything you do from this point forward, if you never thought of this, what we're talking about today before, I hope that you think of it today. Because every word that we share, everything that we do should be of love. So, what is love? Go ahead and shout out the answers. Whatever you think is the answer, go ahead and shout it out. What is love to you? Excuse me? Caring. Very nice. Caring, okay. Warmth.
When I feel love, I'm walking tall.
Walking tall. Strong. Beautiful. Unconditional. Connection. Yes. Absolutely. Peace. Beautiful. So these all encompass love. All of it, right? So when we describe love, it's impossible for us to really describe the totality of love. But the Bible gives us a little description of what love should be. And then in our Hawaiian concept of love. So let's break that down a little bit. What is love? 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 8, and then we jump to to 13 or 12, 13. So love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy. So this is what love is and what love is not, right? So love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil doing, but rather always rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. So if we change that a little bit to say, I am these things, do we know these words to ring true for who we are right here, right now? I am patient, not always. I am kind, not always. I never envy, not always. I don't ever boast. I try not to boast. I try not to be proud. So we have work to do. I'm sure if you were to answer this in the same way, you would say the exact same thing I just did. I'm patient, but I'm not always patient. So we have a lot of work to do. But it starts with, again, us getting out of our own way to recognize our connection to Spirit, to the wholeness of who God is, really. If we're going to be vessels for speaking that truth, then we got to get out of our own way. So I would say, practice that all the time as we read through 1 Corinthians. Put yourself into this, because if I leave myself distant from this fact of what love is described as in 1 Corinthians, then I can never completely share that truth with you. So if I do that here and step outside and get mad at somebody who cut me off or at anything that happens out in this world, I'm responsible for that. So what is aloha? Shout that out for me. What do you think aloha is?
Love.
A resounding love. Aloha is love. What else is aloha? Welcome. Breath. The ha.
A good story, make somebody smile out there.
Yes.
Say, hey, that's it. Just if I like you, I love you. I don't know what.
Awesome. Awesome. So that is aloha. Let's go through Romans 9 or Romans 12. Now, whenever I do blessings, I always go through this scripture because it is so important to how we express that love. And we'll come back to aloha, but this is all aloha right here. This is aloha. This is exactly what Nana Veery's grandma was practicing that day. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Bless and do not curse. Who's guilty of that? Of cursing, the cursing part, yes. Absolutely. But we try to bless, right? We try to bless. But we have to find where it becomes all of that. Only love. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Don't take revenge, for God says, revenge is mine. I will repay, says the Lord. But if your enemy is hungry, feed them. If he is thirsty, then give him something to drink. I don't like heaping hot burning coals on anybody's head, so do not be overcome by evil. But just be good. What does it take to be a good human being, but to apply all of these characteristics in one spot within us, within this vessel that I have? So we answered the question of what is aloha as far as your perspective is concerned. So let's dive deeper into that aloha. Oh wait, I got to show you my picture. So this is one of my paintings that is supposed to have the words there of what is aloha. And I chose this picture because aloha is everything working together. The reef system here, you have within every cave, there's a different fish or a different shark or whatever it is. And if I were to get close to everything in there, everything has its purpose within the ecosystem of the reef. From the honu to the manta rays, so on and so forth. When we all work together in harmony, that is aloha. Alo means the bosom, the center of the universe. The ha is the breath of God. Think about that for a little bit. Alo also means forward facing as I face you. There's a clear intention that I want to share something with you. But when I think about that as being within the arms, within the bosom of God, of the universe, of our Creator, within me, and then that same breath that I share is the Spirit of God, how powerful that is, how incredible that is that within me, this power of love exists. So I have to be careful where I speak or how I speak if I am to be a reflection of God. The word is imbued with a great deal of power. I do not use the word casually. Aloha is a feeling, a recognition of the divine. It is not just a word or greeting. When you say aloha to someone, you are conveying and bestowing this incredible feeling. So nana Veary. Aloha is to learn what is not said, to see what cannot be seen, and to know the unknowable. This is Queen Liliuokalani. And then, Nana Veary again, think of aloha streaming, pouring, rushing, and shining through you, into you, through you, and out from you, in all directions while you sit quietly. Life is lived from the inside out. As we say here, it's an inside job. Always an inside job. You are a dynamic center in the creative flow that is aloha. When I think of aloha, when I think of God's love, liken to the little speck of dust that floats through the universe, and everything that surrounds that speck of dust and through that speck of dust is this incredible ocean of love, incredible ocean of God. I think of it all the time as a tsunami. When we started off singing, "We Let It Be," when I think of "We Let It Be," wash over us, I think of this incredible, powerful flow of water as a tsunami flows. Except tsunami is destructive. In this case, love is not. And it fills us up and it helps us to understand that we are a part, as we are a part of all of nature. And then Antipilahi Paki, who talks about the Aloha Spirit in this way. And we've said this many times over the years of the acronym of Aloha. So A-L-O-H-A, akahai, kindness, lokahi, unity, olu-olu, agreeable, ha'a-ha'a, humility, ahunui, which is patience. So these are characteristics of who we are supposed to be, what we strive to be, who we strive to be. And I always say that it's rare that you find somebody encompassing all of these characteristics at the same time, being able to maintain that for a long period of time. However, this is what we strive to be. The one thing that's missing from this acronym is forgiveness. Kala. And kala allows us to open up, is the key to open ourselves up to all of these characteristics. Because without that, without forgiving ourselves, without forgiving each other, we're trapped. We find ourselves unable to really freely share that love because there's always something that's going to separate us from it until we truly forgive and allow people to forgive us as well. So that's the one thing that unlocks all of it to allow us to freely express that love. How do we practice love, aloha? So you tell me, how do we practice these things? How do we practice it on a daily basis? Carefully. Say again? Yes, kindness, applying kindness. Compassion. Say? Patience. Beautiful. And it's a practice that all of those things definitely have to apply. Again, it's a second to second thing, because at any moment our minds can come into play and separate us again. So it's always a conscious effort for us to be mindful of who we are and what we are. I like to also, one of the recurring thoughts that would always come to me is generational aloha as well, generational love, where it has to be instilled from the family. If we get to a point where, and I believe the Hawaiians practiced this in their time, their ancient time here, where it was passed down from family to family or from generation to generation, they were taught this. They were sat down and told stories of the past on how we needed to commune with one another, how the family needed to also take care of others around them. But nowadays, it's not so simple. We live in a day of UFC fights every weekend, where everybody now has a warrior mentality, where everybody thinks they can. And when I say everybody, I mean whoever watches those fights. I love to watch the fights, but I don't really think of myself as that. But it is a conditional thing. We get conditioned to our environment around us. Nobody tells us stories of love anymore. Nobody tells us stories of how we should exude our aloha. In fact, when I was growing up, my father would always tell me stories about how he beat people up. And he was so proud of telling us those stories. I fought 4 guys. I knocked them all out. Yay, Dad. But as I grew up and I listened carefully and I started to soak up really what that love meant to me, those stories did not exist within me. I could not have any of those stories a part of my life. I did not want to tell my daughter the stories of me beating people up. That's not love. So I hope that as I live and breathe, I can share with Rain what love looks like, what love is, how we treat other people within our lifetime. And we have such a short lifetime, right? Within 70 to 80 years or so, which is the normal, within that time, we are entrusted to make sure that we care, we malama each other as we walk this short walk. I have to make sure that everything that I know and I can pass down to my daughter so that she can continue that tradition of aloha. It has to become a generational thing. And hopefully when she has children, she can pass it down to her kids, so on and so forth. And that's how the world will eventually change. We can talk about it. I can talk about it today. You can step out of here and all of it be wiped out. Unless it becomes conditional within you to be able to speak it and teach other people around you really what aloha is, what that love is that resides within you. Practice it, practice it, practice it. Practice it by smiling at people, by saying hello, by asking them how they're doing. It can be just a look as I look at you and I feel that sincerity of you looking back at me. That's a connection that we cannot just turn a blind eye to. Sharing love all the time. To be Christ-like is to live with aloha. To live with aloha is to be Christ-like. Jesus was the best example for us. Because although they were strict in the religious rules of the day, Jesus kind of understood those rules, but he kind of went a little bit further with them by showing his care for those that he healed, for those that he spoke to, for just being an absolute description of the truth of God's love. A new commandment I give to you, and that is that you love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, if you have love one to another. All of nature waits our recognition, acceptance, and cooperation with it. All that aloha is around us and within us and eternally asking us to recognize it. Those who live without spiritual vision and understanding are forever trying to solve problems by manipulating their human minds and exerting their human wills. We're in our own way. This does not work in the end because all problems begin and end with the individual's own mind. As we realize that aloha is the basis of our individual consciousness, we begin to solve our problems at our point of origin, which is within us again. So 1 John 4, 7 through 8 says, "Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love." Now, that scripture, I have to kind of ruminate on that a little bit because I believe everyone is of love. I believe that everything is of love. And the Hawaiians have a concept which we've talked about before where we're all born with a bowl of light. And only as we get older and we learn the tricks of the trade of being human do we throw stones into this bowl of light. And eventually, you throw enough stones, it blots out the light. The light cannot shine through. So if everybody is born with this bowl of light, and all of us have thrown our own stones into it, that means the light still exists within every one of us. And until we reach a point of consciousness where we take out those stones, again, I have to be conscious of that. I have to come to a point of recognition that these are my stones. I have to clean out my own bowl to let this light shine. So if all of us are born with this bowl of light, I have to ask you to tend your bowl. Tend your bowl. Take out those stones. If you have to pour, or if you can pour the bowl out, then do that. If not, look and see what it is and take it out one by one if you like. But tend your bowl. Consider, do a whole checklist of things through yourself, your consciousness, your body, your mind, on who you are and what's inhibiting you from being what God needs you to be, what love needs you to be. Tend your bowl. It's a powerful thing if we all do that and we're all able to let our light shine. We don't even know our own brightness. We don't even know what we're capable of until we clean all those things out. There's a song that I wrote back in, I believe, 2005 or 6, that is called Only Love. So I'll sing just this chorus part to you. And it's just a snippet of what my message really was throughout that song, but it gets to the point. So it goes like this. Only love can heal what we've tried to deny. Only love can make the shadows to fly. Only love can bring peace where there was only war. Only love has the power to change the world. Only love. And there's so much more to that. And I go back to the bowl of light within that song, or us as children. Children are so connected to God, and there's no separation between them and God yet. They're still absolutely connected, and we have to get to that place of being connected, of knowing that we are connected. So in closing, love is an inner power, not an object. Our need is not to be loved, but to be loved, to express love, to radiate love. And this is Eric Butterworth. The vastness of love is incomprehensible. Just as we struggle with understanding the vastness of space, to understand that we are just that little speck of dust. What matters most is that we awake. We wake up to the knowing that we are love, that everything about us is love, that we are the ocean of love within a drop, that we are love as God is love. I cannot become what I already am. I cannot become what I already am. But if you don't know what you are, it's time for you to really discover that. of who you really are. Through our understanding that there is no separation from the source, God, love, we come to the recognition of the enormity of this love and our responsibility to be it. Aloha ke kahi ke kahi, the call to love one another. With all the news happening, with the war between Russia and Ukraine, with the many things that happen throughout other countries, within our own country, we got work to do. We have work to do. All of us sitting here. Discover your full potential, your truth about who you are, and let's be the ones to change the world. Let's be the ones to step out of this church today, because the work is not done here. The work is done out there. This call is stronger now than ever before, so I hope you hear it. I hope you feel it. Aloha Wale no, only love. Aloha, aloha, aloha. Breathe in this thought of love. Take a deep breath with me. Allow Spirit to fill us up. As you exhale whatever doesn't serve you. Let it go. Take another deep breath. Let it go. And one more time, as you take this last breath, hold your breath at the top of that. Imagine that that is a spot where we connect, we commune with God within us. Take that breath. Hold it. Release the breath. Father, Mother God, allow us to know that there is no separation between us and you. Allow us to know that we are here to serve a greater purpose than what we think. The thinking is what separates us from our truth. Free us from that. Allow us to understand who we really are. Allow us to walk this life to make a difference. Not just to exist, but to exist with purpose. To be love. To smile love. To sing love. To speak love. We are love. So fill us up. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.